Sipsipin mo ang aking dugo't butot laman gamit ang mabalasik mong dila hanggang sa manghina.
So in this video, we didn't see any pregnant women, did we?
I got pregnant.
Mabuhay! Or in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. Welcome back to another history video. It's me, Kirby Araullo, your friendly Pinoy historian. And in today's video, we'll be doing a reaction to Alamat's new song, new music video, Aswang. And as you can see, I have a special guest today. You wanna introduce yourself in Hmong?
Yes. Hi, 안녕하세요. My name is Yi, and I'm super excited to be here today. Feels really interesting to be on this side of the camera, but I'm excited.
So she speaks Hmong, so let me try it. Nyaojong, Kulumbayo Kirby. I almost said it in Korean. Sorry. Let me do that again. Nyaojong, Kulumbayo Kirby. So for those of you OG subscribers from my channel from back in the day, like 10 years ago, or maybe 9 years ago. So if you've been to my channel for the longest time, you probably won't remember Yi. From the older vlogs when I used to vlog my college life in Davis, and we've been together for that many years.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
No, I'm just debating. Do I tell them how many years or what? But anyways, she's joining me today to react to Aswang's or to Alamat Aswang music video. But before we hit play, I'm gonna have a confession moment. I confess to all. Just kidding. I confess that I've actually seen the music video before it came out to the public. Salamat, and special thanks and special shout out to Direct Jason Polaksamana, the creative mind, the beautiful mind behind Alamat. And all the concepts from Alamat. Salamat, Jason, for sending me an early copy of the music video to watch. This is your first time watching it, so I'll be actually watching your reaction to the video and then reacting to your reaction, and then you're gonna ask me questions. We'll talk about the video later after we watched it. So let's hit play.
Sipsipin mo ang
Suck my blood, bones and flesh.
mabalasik mong dila hanggang sa manghina. Ang katawan ko at puso mula pa hanggang ulo. Pag-ibig ko sa'yo'y kailanman di guguho. Sipsipin mo ang aking dugo't butot laman
That's everything.
ang mabalasik mong dila hanggang sa manghina. Ang katawan ko at puso mula pa hanggang ulo. Pag-ibig ko sa'yo'y kailanman di guguho. Kahit pa maging kang aswang, kahit pa maging kang aswang,
Like dancing.
kahit na isa kang aswang,
Okay pa na yun.
maging kang aswang, kahit na isa kang aswang.
That was great.
Kahit na isa kang aswang.
Dang.
Okay. Alamat, handa, rap.
It's catchy.
It's a very catchy song.
it's catchy.
I love the beat. Nakaka-LSS, very catchy. For those Filipinos, LSS, Last Song Syndrome. It's been actually since I've seen the video days more than a week ago. It's been LSS in my head. But yeah. Anyways, initial thoughts. What do you think about the visuals, the music?
Yeah, it's cool, it's sexy, it's like grungy. I love how they did like the choreograph. They did it very like monster-like. The visuals were nice too. And then the lyrics were like, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean overall it's catchy, good song. I liked it.
Visually speaking, it's very beautiful. I like how it seems like a horror movie from Hollywood, not just your cheaply made horror movie, but a really nicely made horror movie.
Low budget.
Yeah, it
horror
looks very
movie.
cinematic. Like when
Yeah.
they walked in,
Yeah.
na parang Ghostbusters, but with Filipino weapons. It felt like a movie when they were walking
Yeah.
in. Yeah, so visually it's very beautiful. I love the choreography. So whoever did the choreography, I forgot to double check who it was, but whoever did it, luwid ka, mabuhay. And for my Twitter followers, I did give a spoiler, kind of a spoiler clue or hint on the music video before it dropped. I did say 2 words that described it for me is that it's very sexy and classy. Usually when artists, sometimes in music video, when they make music videos that they want to appear sexy, they show too much skin. I mean, I'm not complaining, but
We're not complaining.
but my point is, in this music video, it was very sexy without actually showing skin. So it's very tasty, classy sexiness.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you think about it, it actually shows more of their talents too. Like,
Yes.
so any sort of like, you know, talents that hasn't been shown before in previous videos, like I can really see it coming out in this video. They hit all their dance moves really hard. And they look good doing it too, so...
Sexy and classy. But yeah, great job with the choreography, with the whole visuals, the costumes, the outfits that they're wearing. There's a lot of like, subtle Filipino themes in there. So what do you want to talk about first? The clothing, the aswangs. Yeah, what do you want to talk about first? We can talk about the message of the song at the end, or what I felt was the message.
Yeah. Well, I guess the clothing was like very like, I mean, the whole outfits, the looks, they came in hunting like ghosts or something, and they were like dripped. They were like they were in really cool clothing, like they came prepared hunting ghosts and stuff.
Yep. Or they came to slay.
yes.
They slayed their outfit and they slayed the whole dance and they slayed the aswang.
Or did they?
Or did they? Who was the aswang?
And then for the aswang, okay, so several questions about the aswang. I've heard about it before, but can you give me like an overview of like what the aswang is? It seems like a monster, but I don't know what it does
'cause
actually.
in the caption we have it translated in English as monster.
Okay.
So, what do you remember from all my history lessons to you? All the time you've been behind the camera or watching my lectures? Anything you remember about aswangs?
Okay, besides that it has like a long tongue. From the visuals, from what I saw in the video, I remember that it sucks out blood. Maybe specifically through the stomach. I don't know if that was just me, if I'm remembering correctly, if I remember it wrong, but basically it, you know, what is it? What's that word? Yeah, it takes your flesh, your bones, everything. sucks out everything through the stomach. And it's a feisty monster, apparently. Needs blood to survive. That's all I remember from that.
You remember quite a lot, but you kind of like put a lot of different aswangs together. Which brings me to my point that for a lot of people who are not, familiar with aswangs, most of the time you see aswang as just one type of being, but actually aswang is a term or like an umbrella term for all like vampire-like creatures, monsters in the Philippines, in the different mythologies of the Philippines. Again, the Philippines is a very diverse country with 186, 87 languages, and then ethnic groups. There's a lot of ethnic groups in the Philippines, and each one of us have our own different variations of our mythologies. Aswang has been the term that we use for most of the vampire-like monsters and creatures in the Philippines. So there's actually a lot of type of aswangs. So yeah, the one with the long tongue that sucks out the blood and flesh and blood and bones from everything through the stomach that you've seen in the video. That's actually one of the most popular type of aswangs. It's not the most popular, but it's one of the most popular visuals when you think of aswangs. It's the one with the longest tongue, and that is what is called a tiktik. So a tiktik, for those who may not be familiar, is a type of aswang that has a really long tongue, and it's often confused with manananggal, but it's different. We'll explain later. The tiktik is the one with the long tongues and hunts and preys on pregnant women. So in this video, we didn't see any pregnant women, did we?
I got pregnant. Okay, yeah. We didn't see any pregnant women in the music video.
But yes, traditionally, the tiktik would hunt and prey on pregnant women. And that's why what you remember from my previous lectures, I guess, is that when the tiktik lands, it flies or jumps. It travels somehow in different cultures. There's different interpretations, but usually flies or hops over and jumps and lands on the roof and poke a hole, and then the long tongue would slide down from the roof to the belly button of the mom, and that's how the Tiktik is able to suck out the flesh and the blood and the bones of the baby. So that's how the mom loses the baby. So that's what's frightening about the Tiktik. It attacks pregnant women. Yeah, so they would land on the roof, poke a hole through the roof, and then suck up the baby straight from the mother's womb. That's the Tiktik. That's the long tongue you saw, the Aswang. But yes, so there's different types of Aswang. And again, I mentioned the most popular one that a lot of people are familiar with is the Manananggal in Tagalog or in modern Filipino mythology. The Manananggal is the one that, the body is severed half with, the lower body being left on the ground and the upper body flying. Floating around, hunting people in the dark at night after midnight, something like that. However, as I mentioned in my older videos that you've probably seen, the Manananggal is actually a modern Tagalog mythology. And today, a lot of people are no longer familiar with the other types of Manananggal, but there's actually a lot of types of older versions of Manananggals from the different cultures in the Philippines. And I'm going to talk about the ones that I know of from my own background as Kapampangan culture bearer, as also as a Tagalog culture bearer, because actually, there's Magtatanggal and Manananggal. So the old version of Manananggal is called Magtatanggal. And then now the modern day is Manananggal. But one thing I want to talk about is the Mangkukutud, which is the Kapampangan version of Manananggal. But it's kind of different because unlike the Manananggal, the Mangkukutud in Kapampangan is actually more similar to the other similar beings, similar aswangs, similar monsters in different parts of Southeast Asia. So for example, where your grandma is from, Thailand, they have the Krasu. And where your grandma is also from, Laos, they also have the Kasu, because she's Hmong, and for those who may not know, Hmong people are indigenous people, from the mountains along the borders of Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, in Southeast Asia. But anyways, as I was saying, they have similar, in Thai mythology, in Lao mythology, they have similar beings called the Krasu in Thai, the Kasu in Laos. It's also the same as the Layak in the Balinese traditions of Indonesia, and the Penanggalan in Bahasa Melayu, and as opposed to Manananggal, where the upper body detaches from the lower body. In the older traditions of the Kapampangans, the Thai people, the Lao people, the Balinese people, the Malay people, in these older traditions, it's not the upper body that detaches, it's actually just the head. So it's creepier. It's actually creepier if you see the visuals of what a Penanggalan is or what a Mangkukutud is. It's just their head that detaches, while at the same time, all of their organs are just dangling from the neck. So it's more gruesome to me.
Yes.
It's more visually.
That sounds more gory than like how we see monsters in the Western, movies. Because I remember kind of growing up like the scariest sort of detached head were all just kind of clean cut heads, or like I'm thinking of like Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah.
Like super clean cut. But yeah, when you paint that image of like all the body parts kind of just hanging out and stuff, like it's a lot more gory and probably a lot more scary if you saw it in person.
Yep, it is very scary. So yeah, that's the older traditions of how Manananggal is supposed to be. So Manananggal is actually the modern version of the Tagalog Magtatanggal, and which is similar to the Mangkukutud of the Kapampangans, again Penanggalano, the Malay people, Krasu in Thai, Kasu in Laos, Layak in Balinese. This is also a reminder for a lot of folks that mythology actually changes over time, over the centuries. Mythology changes, it adapts to different... Basically, mythology is the reflection of our society too. Our cultures are reflections of our society. So no matter the country, no matter the culture, no matter the ethnicity, mythology is always evolved over time. We cannot stop it from evolving. It's a reflection of the changes of the realities of our people and our imaginations as a people. But yeah, there's other different types of aswangs. Like, it's an umbrella term for a lot of different types of monsters in the Philippines that usually sucks up blood or sucks flesh out of you. Like what the song says, sipid mo ang aking. Just kidding. Anyways, speaking of sucking and eating your flesh and blood and bones and everything, one of the types of aswang that a lot of people are actually not familiar with is the Xa Mul. So the Xa Mul is from the Isneg mythology. The Isneg are indigenous people from Apayao, from northern Philippines and northern Luzon. So the Xa Mul, it's literally an evil spirit, a monster that, swallows humans alive. So they actually swallows the whole human body whole. Which actually, for Kapampangans, it sounds exactly like our word for swallow. So ang Kapampangan in the word for swallow is Samul. So if you think about etymologies, Xa Mul, the name for the aswang in Apayao that swallows human humans alive has the same roots as the Kapampangan word Xa Mul, which means to swallow whole. But actually, yes, if you've actually seen Trece, the animated series on Netflix based on Philippine mythologies, set in the Philippines, they actually showed a lot of types of different aswangs in the show, and one of them is actually Ibwa. Ibwa is another unfamiliar to a lot of Filipinos, a type of aswang from the indigenous people of northern Philippines, and this one came from the indigenous Tingnan or the indigenous Itneg mythology of northern Luzon. So from them we get a type of aswang called Ibwa, who looks exactly like a human. You know, there's no like long tongues or anything, who looks exactly like a normal person, but from what I know, it's an evil spirit, evil monster that eats the dead bodies. So for the indigenous Tingnan people, they actually fear Ibwa, that Ibwa would come in the middle of the night and steal the dead bodies of their loved ones. So for example, if somebody died, you have a funeral, Ibwa might actually steal the body to eat it. But of course, there's a lot of ways to prevent it, and in the indigenous Tingnan community or people, one of their ways of preventing Ibwa from stealing the corpse or the body of their beloved departed loved ones is to light a candle for 9 straight days or 9 straight nights to guard the grave and the body of their beloved. But yeah, that's another type of aswang that a lot of Filipinos are not familiar with. So we have again Xa Mul, Mangkukutud, Ibwa, Tiktik. There's a lot of different types of aswangs out there, and I've actually talked about a lot of this in previous videos, in my old reaction videos to different things. So if you haven't seen those yet, I'll include the link down below of my different videos that talks about the diverse and beautiful, colorful Philippine mythologies.
My question is, are all aswangs evil?
Yes and no. Just kidding. Yes, because yes, if you ask Filipinos today, the vast majority of Filipinos would say they're evil because that's how we grew up now. You know, thinking aswangs as the evil monsters. They're not, traditionally, they're actually not entirely evil. They're not always evil. That's more of a modern version of the aswang, which has roots in colonialism. I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, back to colonialism, because it does have roots in colonialism. And I guess this actually brings us back to the meaning of the song, what I felt was the meaning of the song, what I caught from the song, how this message of there's like an aswang in all of us. But it's not always bad, or it's not entirely bad. It's not entirely wrong to have an aswang inside you. Aswangs are always seen as evil, like what you said. So a lot of Filipinos today associate aswang with evilness, with monsters eating humans, out there to just they don't even have to have reason. They're just out there to eat humans. But that's not entirely true. So if you look at the deeper mythologies of our ancestors in the Philippines before colonialism, a lot of these aswangs, even after colonialism, a lot of our ancestors still held on to the belief that not all of these aswangs are actually evil. So a lot of them have backstories of how they turned into this monster, this evil spirit that hunts people. For me, it's a reflection of our deeper traditions, of our culture in the Philippines, that back then, before colonialism, we didn't really see things black and white. Pre-colonially, our ancestors, we didn't have this polarizing type of perspective in life where one is either purely evil or purely bad. It's always like a spectrum and a balance. Same with gender in the Philippines back then. We never saw someone as entirely straight man or entirely straight, you can only be a straight guy or straight girl. It's always a spectrum. It can be anywhere in between. So the same thing with how they saw their perspective about evil and good in society. There's always an in between. And a lot of the aswangs that we think of as evil monsters today, a lot of them actually have somewhat of a backstory of how they turn into aswangs or how they turn into evil. Or some of them are actually misinterpreted after colonialism into something evil. So yeah, the tikbalangs are not entirely evil. They're not always horses. The pugut, the capres were not always evil. Another one that I can think of that everyone is frightened of is the white lady. And I'm not talking about white ethnicity lady. No, I'm not talking about the Karens. I'm talking about this type of ghost in the Philippines called the white lady, because they're all white. And I feel like in parts of the video we saw someone dressed like one of the aswang was dressed in white. So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it made me think of the white lady. So the white lady are this ghosts, this evil spirits that haunts people. Usually nowadays in modern Philippine mythology, they are in the middle of the road. They always, if you're driving in the middle of the night, they always stop. Or you always have to drive, and then it just suddenly appear in front of you, and then you just get into an accident. Or they often cause death. The white ladies are often really scary. I was scared of white ladies when I was a little kid, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Filipinos out there were like that. And there's always white ladies.
Wait, this is the white lady that
died at the beginning of traffic.
Yes, yes. Well, that's a particular white lady from the Balete Drive in Quezon City.
okay.
So there's actually a lot of white ladies, a lot of popular ones, like the one in Balete Drive. There's one in Quezon City, and there's another famous one in Baguio City. The different places have different white ladies that are terrorizing people at night. What people often actually forget about the mythology of the white lady, because again, we always see this as purely evil being, is that the white ladies are actually not evil at all. If you actually look at the backstory of every popular white lady mythology or story out there, all of them are victims of rape or murder. Or both. Most of the time they were raped and murdered. But the recurring theme in the mythologies of white lady is that they were raped, they were murdered, and their body was discarded somewhere, and they were never found. And of course, the rapists and the murderers just go out there free to victimize other people and attack other people. If you really look at dig deeper into the roots of the mythology of the white lady, it's really talking about victims of rape and violence, gendered violence. A lot of the times, the white lady where they appear are usually where their bodies were hidden. Or sometimes where they were abducted or raped. So if you were driving in the middle of the street and there's I'm getting goosebumps, and there's a white lady that appeared next to you, our instinct is to get scared because that's how we were taught growing up. But if you look at the deeper mythologies around it, a white lady is actually trying to either scare you to get your attention and to somehow let you know that my body is laying somewhere here. That so you need to find it. But yeah, they're not usually scary. They are scary, but they're not usually 100% evil. And as many of you probably know, I can go on and on and on and on talking about these different types of beings and monsters like the Tiyanak, the other types of monsters in the Philippines, the other Aswangs in the Philippines. But if we don't have time, as you've seen in the music video, they talk about the rumors. People are spreading rumors against this person. So similar things to what happened to the Aswangs of our ancestors, the mythical beings of our ancestors throughout history. That when colonialism came, when the Spaniards conquered the Philippines and introduced the Catholic faith, the Christian faith, the Aswangs were actually used as tools to spread colonialism, effective tools of colonialism. So the priests and the missionaries back then would spread these scary stories of Aswangs, as they're purely evil. That's there to just hurt people. There's nothing good in them. They're just purely evil because that's how Christianity saw them. There's different reasons why they did that. One reason is to scare people from going out at night. So to prevent people from, plotting a rebellion against the Spanish colonialism. But also another bigger reason behind vilifying all of these creatures is to basically prevent our ancestors from reverting back to the old traditions, to the old religions. It's an effective way of colonialism, an effective way of spreading Christianity in the Philippines. That's how Aswang became also popular, very popular and widespread. So yeah, like what they said in the video, don't listen to the rumors.
Yeah.
Don't be chismoso. Chismis can be fun, but it shouldn't define someone. It shouldn't define our life. And I guess that's another deeper meaning that I felt from the song. Oftentimes people only see snippets of our lives, especially now in the age of social media. We see snippets of someone's life because of chismes, because of how we perceive things. We only see snippets of someone's life and then we judge them entirely for that small little snippet of their life. And for me, that brings back this, because actually growing up in the Philippines, there's a lot of rumors, in the different communities, how that person is an Aswang, they're evil, avoid their house, don't walk by their house at night, they're Aswang. So there's a lot of this stigma or this, and oftentimes this rumors of people being Aswangs in the modern day are rooted in the fact that these people are unique. Because oftentimes a community would spread rumors about a particular household or family and call them Aswangs just because they don't belong to the community. Like for example, if they migrated from a different part of the Philippines, or if they're from an indigenous group in the Philippines, oftentimes they move to the city and the city folks would call them Aswangs, because of misunderstanding. My point is, because of this culture of chismes, we have this we're very judgmental people. Basically, I hope I'm not, but overall, my observation is that culturally speaking, there's a lot of judgmental people in the Philippines. That's the truth. That we often judge people because of the little snippets of what we know about them or what we don't know about them. Oftentimes, we just see a little bit of their life and then judge them for the entire being. We don't even know their backstory. We don't even know what they're going through. We always, judge them.
Yeah, I think as human beings, I don't want to say it's in our nature to be judgmental, but it seems like, we're very quick to judge and cast something aside or someone aside based off of what you see.
Yeah, and then it's prejudice, basically.
Yeah.
And this is usually the roots
That's
of
the word.
That's
Prejudice.
actually that's actually the root of racism for folks who are the roots of racism is because we judge people based on their perceived roots,
Right.
perceived being. But let's not get into that because this is about Aswang. I mean, I can go on and on about it. I wrote a book about it. But my point is, oftentimes we spread rumors about this person being evil without actually understanding their story, without actually even trying to learn from them. And in the video, in the music, in the song, they're talking about how, I'm not going to listen to the people, what people say about you, because I am assuming that the person singing it knows that person well. And then for me, it also brings up this message that's along with it, is that it reminds us that we must accept our flaws, that we must embrace our identities, that embrace our flaws, embrace every inch of our being. Sometimes, more often than not, our so-called flaws that the mainstream society always judge us for. This based on what they perceived as something that's unusual, something that's evil. My point is, mainstream society always has something to judge you for, and you always have to be this perfect being to be accepted, or that's how we see it, or how most people see it. So this song kind of reminds me of that, message of like, no, don't listen to what the mainstream society tells you. As long as you're not hurting people, as long as you're not purposely hurting people and doing evil things to hurt people. I mean, you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. You shouldn't be ashamed of your identity. You, again, embrace every inch of your identity. The things that we get judged for, this is my experience. Most of the times, the things that I get judged for growing up, in the different spaces I've been in, even here in the US, even in the universities, most of the time, the things that I was judged for, I was made to feel ashamed for, are actually my strength. So my point is, from this song, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but I kind of got this message that embrace yourself and don't listen to what people tell you, because most of the time, the things that they're telling you to be ashamed of, are actually your strength. These are actually, for me, most of the time, these are actually your most beautiful qualities, But then they're only our most beautiful qualities if we learn to embrace it, to accept it, and to use it for the good. Again, don't use it for evil, because that's evil.
Wow, that was actually really deep.
Thanks. But yeah, that's what I thought about the song.
Wow, you took a lot out of this video.
This is why I can't really. It's hard for me to do reaction videos because I watch something and I have actually deeper thoughts. I don't actually. This when I watch something, I'm just quiet. I don't, because a lot of reaction videos are like, oh my gosh, wow. Woo. Most of the time, I just absorb things and have deeper thoughts about it. So yes, by the way, let me know, because I'm not sure if you're coming back. I mean, I'm not sure if she wants to come back.
If you want me back, comment in Kirby's comment section that you want me back.
I'm not saying I don't want you back. I'm just saying if you're comfortable coming back in future videos, let us know in the comments below if this is a type of reaction videos that you want to see.
But anyway, can we also go back to the drip that that they were wearing?
Yes, how they slayed their outfit.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Can we talk about that?
Cool. Salámat. They always have subtle cultural references in every detail of their music video. And in the part where they were dancing, we were like wearing like white tank tops with random symbols in the shirt. These are actually like traditional clothing that people wear in the rural areas to protect themselves from harm. So a lot of this, like the writing you see on the shirt, are usually prayers, and the symbols are usually symbols of like, well, now that we're Catholics, are symbols of like Jesus, symbols of the angels, the saints that are there to protect you. But pre-colonially, it has roots in pre-colonial roots too. They were symbols of our mythologies, like the good spirits that would protect us from evil. So you see it in the video where they're wearing these tank tops while dancing in this room. It looks random from people, like, oh, it's a nice fashion statement to have like a nice tank top with just random markings and text. But culturally speaking, those are actually similar to Agimat. So this talisman, but in the form of a shirt that that would protect you from harm from the evil spirits. And usually there's a ritual they do with it, and then you say the prayers written in it, and it's meant to protect you from the evil spirit. And they're wearing it in this video because they're about to hunt a monster, so they're wearing it to protect themselves. So that's what those markings that you saw mean.
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay. I didn't even know that. So that's cool.
And don't worry, not a lot of Filipinos know this. That's why I make my videos. But yeah, so if you see
towards the end, okay. So I know that they're wearing something like.
Well, they're not naked.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind, but okay. So at the end,
they're classy in this video.
Yes.
Sexy but classy.
Yeah. And then I guess well, I didn't know that I mean, they brought in so many different pieces into this music video. So I mean, I think it's a lot more complex than what we actually see when you dig like a little deeper. But yeah, I mean, at the end, they're, I believe, wearing like their barong. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like
a barong.
but a barong is like super formal though,
Yeah,
right?
and-
I mean, but anyway, but again, the choreography and in the barong, that was like,
Yeah.
woo.
Actually, that's one of my highlights.
Yeah, that was like really cool.
Yeah, that's actually one of my highlights of the music video when they wore the barong at the end dancing. It's one of my favorite parts of the music videos at the end when they were doing this dance, the final dance, final choreography in their barong. I'm glad you noticed that they're barong because a lot of people actually will miss it. But actually, a lot of people don't know that traditionally, like what they're wearing here in this music video, they're wearing a black barong with white embroidery. I think it's black, unless it's like dark blue. Let me know, Jason. I didn't know. I think it's black. But you know, people often think of barong as this white barong.
Yeah.
White or cream or light colored barong.
Yeah.
But traditionally speaking, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but barongs come in different colors. They come in different colors. Pre-colonially, barong has pre-colonial roots.
Ooh, okay.
It's not entirely a product of colonialism. Well, our modern version of barong was influenced during the colonial period, but traditionally it has roots from colonialism, not colonialism, it has roots from our pre-colonial ancestors. It comes from the word for shirt, baro, in the Kapampangan, or baro in Tagalog, baju in Melayu, bahasa Melayu. Basically, our traditional barongs, traditionally back then, came in different colors. I mean, even today we have different colors barong, but people just think of barong as just one stereotypical type of barong, like a white cream barong that you wear in formal occasions. But traditionally, barongs come in different colors. Pre-colonially, the warriors would always wear red barong or baro. That's actually a proper way. Grammatically speaking, it's wrong to say barong.
Oh.
Because
What does barong mean then?
Because barong is a shortened version of barong Tagalog. Barong Tagalog just means like the shirt of the Tagalog people. So if you cut it there, barong, and take out Tagalog, you're actually just saying, I'm not a grammar Nazi, but I mean, I don't mind you saying barong, but just FYI, just so you know, when you say barong by itself, grammatically speaking, it's wrong because you're only saying shirt off. Baro nang. Because the actual phrase is baro ng Tagalog, so barong Tagalog. So if you take out Tagalog, you're just saying the shirt off. The shirt of who? Is it my shirt? Your shirt? Our shirt? So grammatically speaking, it's wrong to say barong, but of course, over the years, over the centuries, we just say barong now, which is now acceptable.
So to be grammatically correct, you have to say something like
The full name.
barong Tagalog or barong
Kapampangan.
Kapampangan.
Barong
Okay.
Kapampangan, Barong Tagalog, Baju Melayu. Same thing, Baju Melayu for people in Malaysia. And it also comes in different materials. So now we're used to seeing barongs as this light, silky material, juicy.
juicy
Sorry,
material.
that's how you spell it.
Juicy material.
But I think it's pronounced usi, I forgot. I'm blanking out, but there's like a type of silk in the Philippines that you spell as Jusi, juicy. But that's not how you say it. For some reason, I'm blanking out. This is what happens when you speak more than 7 languages. But my point is, barongs come in different materials.
Okay.
It was normal back then, pre-colonially, to have cotton barongs, silk barongs, and fun fact, cannabis barongs. There's a type of cannabis in the Philippines that our ancestors used back then to create barongs. And barongs are not always formal. There are different types of barongs. Again, there's different colors. The warriors would always wear red barong because red was a symbol of war and bravery, valiant heroes. And then there's also the blue barong. Traditionally speaking, the workers, the farm workers, the peasants, the laborers out there in the field, out there in the sun, are actually wearing blue barong, or not actually blue, indigo. So traditionally for Kapampangans, in our Kapampangan culture, traditionally blue and indigo represents the working class. It represents the peasants, the farm workers, the working class, because blue was the baro that they wore. The barongs that they wore, the baro, the shirt they were wearing when they're working is blue, is indigo, because our ancestors believe, or even scientifically, I guess it's proven, I'm not a scientist, so for our scientist viewers, let me know if it's true, but our ancestors believe that the indigo as a material has antibacterial features that when you wear an indigo baro or barong or indigo shirt out in the fields, it's healthier than just wearing your nicer barong. A healthier choice in terms of being in the field, because you're out there in the field all day. You're sweating,
Yeah.
You know, barongs come in some different colors. Even during colonialism, I'll flash some images, but even during colonialism, barongs come in different colors, different patterns. There's striped barongs, and that's back in the 1700s, the 1800s. And then pre-colonially, we have silk barongs. So indigo is also a major export of Tondo and Luzon to Japan and other countries. So we'll talk about that later in a future video, because this video is getting longer. But yeah, so the baro that they're wearing is black, or the barong they're wearing is black, and that's perfectly normal. What I'm trying to say is that traditionally, again, the warriors would wear red, the workers would wear blue, and white barongs or white baro back then was reserved for special occasions, for spiritual occasions, for very, deep, solemn ceremonies. So they would wear the whiter or the creamer type of baro, which actually we still practice today. If you watch Filipino weddings, we're wearing white or cream barong. And that has pre-colonial roots. So whenever there's a deeper ceremony, a ritual, they would wear white barongs. Very spiritual thing. So even the royals back then, people with bloodlines of the Lacans and Mapang Sugi are actually the only ones. Back then, the Mapang Sugi are the only people who are allowed to wear yellow. In in pre-colonial Kapampangan culture, in Brunei, in Maguindanao, if I'm not mistaken, right? My Datu friends in Maguindanao. But yeah, my point is, there are different types of baro, different types of colors of barongs. And they come in different materials, different colors, different shapes and sizes. I feel like I'm selling barongs now. So there's no single type of barong that we should subscribe to. There's different types of barongs.
Yeah.
Very diverse, like our people.
Yeah.
And actually, the barongs I always wear are the ones with the so-called Chinese scholar barong, because in the Philippines they call them the Chinese scholar barongs. And then they tell me, like, that's not a Filipino barong, that's a Chinese style.
Yeah.
It's not, because those scholars are traditional scholars. The Western, the one with the flaps, are actually the Western type of scholars. Pre-colonially, our traditional barongs were either the ones we now call Chinese scholar, or collarless, like a shirt like this, and it has an opening. Yes, what I was wearing was traditional and not foreign, because a lot of times we have this stereotypical idea of what a barong is. But yeah, again, that's we talked about a lot of things today, so let us know if this is the type of reaction videos you would like to see on my channel, if you want me to bring her back.
Vote me back on.
This is not Survivor or something. But anyways, again, thank you so much for watching this reaction video. This has no script at all, which is weird for me because I usually have an outline so I can follow things. So hopefully it's not that chaotic for you. I like it. I enjoyed it. It's more genuine. Not that I'm not genuine in my other videos.
Yeah.
But anyways, my point is, we don't have much time, so we're gonna say goodbye now and see you again next time. But before we go, of course, I just want to thank all my subscribers, all my patrons and followers throughout these years. This channel would not be possible without your love and support, throughout these years. And of course, I mentioned on Twitter the other day that whoever retweets this first will get shoutouts for my reaction video on Alamat. But there's like dozens of retweets. I'm gonna scroll up and down and randomly pick my shoutouts for today.
Okay, this one with a lot of emojis.
Okay, so shout out kay Devata 413621776. Shout out to you. Salámat for watching my videos. Okay.
This one with the books.
Shout out to @JAO. Oh, Jao Alien.
This one.
Okay, so shout out kay Grace Granlund. Grace? Kung nandyan ka, paramdam ka. Shout out to Grace Ganland. Shout out to Magiliw Monique. How many is that? 4?
Was that 3 or 4?
I don't know. I'll just keep going. Shout out to Ati Pearl 07. Shout out to Solid Salámat. Those are the first ones to retweet my tweet. But yeah, Salámat. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for watching my videos, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah. And that is it for me today. So let me know in the comments below if you like this video or learn a thing or two. That's usually my line.
Yes.
And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and comment down below. Share this video so more people can learn more about our people's history, culture, and everything in between.
Mikitix!
Okay.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Daghang salamat, dakalpong salamat, magsukol tuod kay mo. That's different languages in the Philippines. Agimat, terima kasih to our Bahasa Melayu speakers. Come on.
Ocham.
I was about to say. I didn't want to butcher it, so. See you next time with Tagalog Kita Kids and Kapampangan. Mikitix.
Sip, sip, Isipin mo ang aking dugo't butot laman gamit ang mabalasik mong dila hanggang sa manghina. Ang katawan ko at puso mula paa hanggang ulo, pag-ibig ko sa'yo kailanman di ko